मेरा यूट्यूब तो चालू हो गया। फर्स्ट इंटरनेशनल टॉपिक डालिए, इसी मैंने आपको कॉपी किया। ये देखो, एडिट करना पड़ेगा। कहाँ पे डालूँ मैं, जल्दी बताइए। रन बाय नहीं तो बताऊँ क्या पाए। हम्म, क्या लिखना, एक स्पेलिंग बता दो। CONDE हाँ। अरे लाइव लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग बना रहा हूँ। क्यों? अरे मैंने पढ़ लिया। हाँ, DU, हाँ, कंडक्टेड बाय SGTB खालसा कॉलेज है ना मैडम। मैडम ज़्यादा लंबा नहीं आएगा, 100 के अंदर आएगा वर्ड। नहीं, कॉल का नाम नहीं आ रहा क्योंकि 100 वर्ड के अंदर चाहिए उसको टाइटल। नहीं आ रहा, इतना ही आएगा।
Hello. हेलो। हेलो। शायद आवाज तो जा रही है ना, लेकिन मुझे कुछ सुनाई नहीं दे रहा।
हेलो। मैं बिल्कुल विजय, कुछ बोलना चाह रहे थे आप?
बस मैम, आई जस्ट वांट टू ट्राई कि आवाज नहीं आ रही थी। आई जस्ट वांट टू चेक माय माइक सिस्टम।
ओके ओके।
थैंक यू
एक्चुअली
मैम।
मैं अभी हमने यहाँ से म्यूट करके रखा हुआ है।
जी मैम।
प्रोग्राम इज गोइंग टू स्टार्ट वेरी शॉर्टली।
ओके मैम।
our jury members are on the way.
थैंक यू मैम।
Okay.
थैंक यू।
Respected dignitaries on the dais, respected dignitaries on the dais, respected invited guests, respected faculty members, and dear participants, a very good afternoon to one and all. I, Dr. Harshita Shukla, Head Department of Biotechnology, Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, Jabalpur, and Organizing Secretary of the First International Conference on Nature and Natural Sciences, warmly welcome you in the day one of the online oral presentation session hosted and conducted by Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, Jabalpur. Before beginning with the program, we shall take the blessings of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and Goddess Saraswati Ji. So I request the respected dignitaries on the dais to please proceed for lighting of the lamp. As we all know, the theme of this international conference is New Vistas in Green Technology and Socio-Economic Sustainability. The conference has been organized and hosted by Rani Durgavati Vishwavidyalaya Jabalpur in association with Asian Biological Research Foundation Prayagraj and other organizing institutes. Before proceeding with the program, we shall first welcome our jury members and introduce them. Our first jury member, respected Dr. G.K. Chandok Madam, Principal Guru Ramdas Khalsa Institute of Science and Technology. I will myself take this opportunity to welcome Madam Chandok. Our second jury member of today's session is respected Dr. Ram Prakash Chaubey sir, Principal Mother Teresa Law College, Jabalpur. I request Dr. Saurabh Gupta sir to please welcome Dr. Ram Prakash Chaubey sir. Now I request Mr. Sanjay Gupta sir to please welcome our respected principal sir. The chairperson of today's technical session will be respected Dr. G.K. Chandok Madam and co-chairperson will be respected Dr. Ram Prakash Chaubey sir. Now, before beginning with the oral presentation, I would like to request our active and energetic principal sir to please introduce with the theme of today's program.
श्री गुरु तेग बहादुर खालसा महाविद्यालय में रानी दुर्गावती विश्वविद्यालय के तहत ये 2 दिन का जो सेमिनार आयोजित किया गया है, इसमें महाविद्यालय का एक विशेष योगदान है कि महाविद्यालय ऑनलाइन के तहत जितने भी विद्यार्थी जुड़े हैं, जितने भी रिसर्च स्कॉलर जुड़े हैं, जितने भी साइंटिस्ट जुड़े हैं, उनका महाविद्यालय परिवार की ओर से पहले हार्दिक वंदन अभिनंदन करता है। हमारे बीच में जो आज के टेक्निकल सेशन की चेयरपर्सन है डॉक्टर मिसेस जी.के. चंडोक, प्रिंसिपल गुरु रामदास खालसा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, उनका स्वागत है। डॉक्टर राम प्रकाश चौबे जी, प्रिंसिपल मदर टेरेसा लॉ कॉलेज, उनका स्वागत है। और इस कार्यक्रम की जो सचिव हैं डॉक्टर हर्षिता शुक्ला, हेड डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बायोटेक्नोलॉजी, डॉक्टर सौरभ गुप्ता, हेड डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ माइक्रोबायोलॉजी, आप सभी का स्वागत है महाविद्यालय परिवार की ओर से। नेचर एंड नेचुरल साइंस, आज जितना भी आज आपने देखा, जो हमने स्वागत भी आप सबका किया, तो हमने सबसे पहले हमको अपना परिवार देखना है, उस परिवार के अंतर्गत हम क्या पर्यावरण के लिए जी रहे हैं। इसलिए हमने ये सब चीजें जो माला है सबको अलग करके एक पौधा आपको दिया। इस पौधे को आप लेके अपने जीवन में एक ऐसा बनाएं, क्योंकि आज देखिए इतनी गर्मी होने के बाद आज हम लोग कोई एसी में नहीं बैठे। नेचर कितना ज्यादा परिवर्तित हो रहा है। लगातार 4 दिन से जबलपुर में बारिश हो रही, आप देख रहे होंगे कि जबलपुर लगातार बारिश से है। तो कहीं ना कहीं हम नेचर के साथ गड़बड़ी कर रहे हैं, और जो कर रहे हैं उसमें 2 लोग ज्यादा विद्वान हैं। एक विद्वान लोग जो उदासीन बैठे हैं, और एक जो ऐसी जनमानस जो इसके प्रति जागरूक नहीं हो रहा। तो इस कॉन्फ्रेंस कराने का मेन उद्देश्य महाविद्यालय परिवार का भी इसलिए था कि आने वाली जो पीढ़ी है उस सहज रूप से जागरूक हो कि हम क्या करना चाहते हैं, किस तरह से नेचर को हम अपने आप से जीना चाहते हैं। इन सभी बातों को नजर रखते हुए हम लोगों ने ये कॉन्फ्रेंस में अपना योगदान किया, और ऑनलाइन के तहत कल भी इसके कॉन्फ्रेंस में हम लोग आपके साथ जुड़ेंगे। आज भी जुड़े हैं, क्योंकि चेयरपर्सन जो है और को चेयरपर्सन आए हुए हैं, अब उनको ये कार्यक्रम चालू अवश्य करना है। इसलिए मैं आप सबको पुनः महाविद्यालय परिवार की ओर से हार्दिक वंदन अभिनंदन करता हूँ। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Now, beginning with the oral presentation, I would like to inform all the participants that each participant will be allotted a time of 10 minutes for their presentation, followed by a question and answer session by the jury members. We will start with the first presentation as per the list. First participant, Mrs. Punjalaka Lal, Assistant Professor, Ranchi Women's College, Ranchi University, Jharkhand. Madam, are you there? Mrs. Punjalaka Lal. Okay, we will move to the next participant. Dr. Madhu Gupta, Assistant Professor, University of Lucknow.
A very good afternoon to everyone. Just give me 1 minute to present my presentation.
Yes.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can everyone see my presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Your presentation is also visible.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. My presentation is based on the topic bone anabolic action and phytochemical characterization of Oxymum gratissimum leaves extract. Background. As it is concerned with bone anabolic action, which means we are working on in the field of osteoporosis, which is characterized by a reduction in bone mineral density and a reduced mechanical strength, which needs long-term therapy and management. It is a silent disease, and most of the FDA-approved drugs cause some side effects when prescribed. So in this sense, we are searching for an alternative medication, particularly in the field of Ayurveda and herbal medicines. So one of the potential plant is Oxymum gratissimum, which is also used in our Indian Ayurvedic system to treat cough, cold, headache, diarrhea, and flatulence. It is also known as Ban Tulsi. So, before proceeding, we must know what is the basis of osteoporosis. So, bone remodeling is basically a dynamic balance between bone formation and bone resorption. So, bone formation is taken place by osteoblast cells, and the genes responsible for proliferation of osteoblasts or bone forming cells are alkaline phosphatase, BMP2, type 1 collagen, osteocalcin, and RUNX2. So RUNX2 is basically a transcription factor which is involved in proliferation and differentiation of osteoblast. Whereas the bone resorbing cells are osteoclast, and MCSF, CFMS, RANKL, and NFAT-C1 are responsible for their proliferation differentiation. Interestingly, RANKL is a cytokine released by osteoblast, and it is responsible for formation of released by osteoblast and responsible for formation of osteoclast. So whenever an imbalance achieves, osteoporosis occurs. So the objective of this study is to find out the osteogenic or bone anabolic activity of Ban Tulsi leaf extract, and further to characterize and identify the phytochemicals responsible for bone anabolic action through molecular docking studies. Methodology. So we first collected the leaves from CMAP only and identified it there, and further proceeded for ethanolic extraction using Soxhlet apparatus and moved to rotary evaporation. Further, the experiments were divided into two parts. First, the extract is sent for GCMS analysis for phytochemical characterization, and the second part involves in vitro analysis. We have done cell proliferation assay using MTT, and we have also done trypan-blue dye exclusion assay for estimating cell viability. We have also done morphological studies as well using inverted microscope. in silico approach, we involve molecular docking with the selected phytochemicals from Oxymum gratissimum leaves, and we study molecular docking between these phytochemicals with RUNX2 and BMP2, the two genes involved in bone formation. Results. So, for morphological analysis, we capture some images with different concentration of the plant extracts. So the first image is of control, and we see that with increasing concentration of the plant extract, there is no deterioration in the health and differentiation of these cells, though at 125 microgram per ml we see that the number of apoptotic cells is increased as compared to differentiated and healthy cells, wherein 75 microgram ml and 100 microgram per ml concentration, the cells are quite good, healthy and differentiated in their appearance. We did cell proliferation. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, your PPT is not moving. It is on first slide only.
Okay.
Now it has moved to the next one.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. So ma'am, may I keep it in this way only?
Yeah, continue, ma'am. But keep moving the slide.
Okay. So cell proliferation assay, we performed MTT assay for 48 hours. And these are the results of MTT assay. We see that the plant extract in 50, 75 and 100 microgram per ml concentration, the results are comparable to control and in fact better than control. We also calculated EC90 by interpolating the data. EC90 is the drug concentration or concentration of the plant extract at which 90% of the efficacy is achieved. So we see here that after interpolating, transforming and normalizing the data, we get that this is 31.5 microgram of the plant extract, which is getting 90% of the maximum activity. This is GC chromatogram, and after GCMS, we identified 47 phytochemicals from O. gratissimum. Out of these 47 phytochemicals, eugenol, methyl eugenol, and thymol. We did docking analysis with these between these chemicals, phytochemicals, and RUNX2 and BMP2 to see the negative binding energies, which is suggestive of their strong binding with RUNX2. So these are best docking positions showing the target amino acid with which they are interacting. Similarly, with binding BMP2, the binding energies are again negative. The two results are suggestive of their agonistic action on bone. Discussion and conclusion. From these studies, we conclude that Oxymum gratissimum leaves extract increase the proliferation in a dose-dependent manner of MG63 osteoblast-like cells. Morphological analysis revealed healthy and differentiated status of the cells. The EC90 concentration is 31.5 microgram. GCMS analysis revealed eugenol, methyl eugenol, thymol, caryophyllene, and caryophyllene oxide as the key phytoconstituents responsible for bone anabolic action. Interestingly, all these 5 compounds are actually structurally similar to non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Both eugenol and methyl eugenol have negative binding energies, which is suggestive of their agonistic action, which means they can bind RUNX2 and BMP2 and activate their enhance their activity or potential for bone cell or osteoblast cell proliferation and differentiation. Future studies, We are in the midway of confirming the bone anabolic action of this plant extract. We are yet to achieve other objectives like osteoblast differentiation and osteoblast specific gene expression studies using alkaline phosphatase marker and alizarin assistaining. We acknowledge the financial support from ICMR New Delhi and Dr. Aparna Mishra from Mera University Lucknow for cell culture assistance. These are the references. Thank you. If any query, please let me know. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Is there any query?
Ma'am, I have a small query. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir. You are fairly audible to me.
This is Dr. Mukesh Meghvanshi, scientist from DRDO Gwalior.
Yes,
We have worked on gratissimum. If we compare the phytochemical constituents of gratissimum with the most commonly available species, that is sanctum. So, do you find any significant difference with respect to major phytochemicals?
sir. We did not go for sanctum. Actually, we only tested for gratissimum.
Okay.
So we are also. This is just one plant extract, and we are also screening other plants as well.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Moving to the next participant, Dr. Shweta Chokse, Assistant Professor, NES Science and Commerce College, Jabalpur.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Ma'am, please share your PPT.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it is visible.
Yes, ma'am, your PPT is visible.
Yes, good afternoon to all of you. My name is Shweta, Dr. Shweta Chokse, and I am here to present my work. Before I get started, I want to thanks to you all for attending this presentation. My topic is hydrophobic modification of psyllium husk to present biodegradable films for a vitro slow release drug delivery to wound dressing. Ma'am, slide is change.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes. Okay, the challenge. One of the biggest challenge of 21st century is uncontrolled production and consumption of non-biodegradable plastic. We are very aware to the challenges of threats and cost on the nature and its balance. There is constant pursuit of scientists
और
and
यही
researchers
वातावरण में होगा
across to the
हम
global
लोग
to
काफी
find
माथे पे शिकन लेके
better
कल उपस्थित थे
alternative
कि न
of
जाने क्या होगा और
non-biodegradable
कैसे होगा
plastics.
सर बहुत शांति से उन्होंने कहा
Here are
35 साल से मैडम इस तरह के आयोजन होते रहे
about the plastic production. According to World Wildlife Fund, researchers average people could be ingesting approximately 5 grams of plastic every week, which is the weight of credit card. 559 million metric tons of plastic getting produced each year. Only 14% collected to for recycling, and only on 9% plastic produced has been recycled. My objective is my basic product is psyllium seed husk we use was
सही किया कार्यक्रम आयोजित
modified
किया
by castor oil derivative dimer. Polycondensation process involved. Green chemistry principles were followed. Use of renewable resource based material. Microwave irradiation as an energy source. No use hazardous chemicals or organic solvents. Hydrophobic modified psyllium was blended with polyvinyl alcohol (PVA) to obtain biodegradable films. Psyllium seed husk we use preparation of film. Gel forming psyllium seed husk is anionic polysaccharide consisting main of copolymer arabinose and xylose. Psyllium is widely used as a medically active natural polysaccharides. Synthesis of hydrophobically modified psyllium seed husk. First, we hydrophobically modified psyllium seed husk, HMP. HMP was prepared by polycondensation of PSH and dimer. PSH is a psyllium seed husk and DA is a dimer acid. Was dissolved in an aqueous NaOH and mixed well and powder. PSH DBSA and PTSA and deionized water to obtain slurry and then microwave irradiation. Thus, the resinous solid product HMP was obtained. This is a life cycle of a hydrophobically modified psyllium seed husk. Preparation of hydrophobically modified psyllium is completely biodegradable. Preparation of film from HMP. HMP was blended with polyvinyl alcohol to prepare physically cross-link film PDPV. Chemically cross-link film PDGL was prepared in presence of glutaraldehyde. PDPVA was used to prepare natural product film using turmeric PDTU and crystal violet PDCV as a model for study in vitro release profile. Preparation of various film in different ingredients. FTR structural analysis of comparison of psyllium husk, dimer resin, and HMP. FTR spectrum of HMP is compared with those dimer acid and psyllium husk. Formation of ester linkage is evidence to significant reduction of intensity of mu-OH, which is appear is very broad in 3000 to 360 centimeter inverse. FTR spectrum of dimer acid is due to COOH and PSH due to OH, and similarly strong band due to delta OH around to 1600 centimeter inverse. Dimer acid and PSH reduced and shifted to lower wave number and broad appearance in 1730 centimeter inverse over the ester linkage in FTR spectrum analysis of HMP. Biodegradation स्टडी ऑफ एफटीआई स्पेक्ट्रल एनालिसिस कि जैसे हमने पहले देखा था कि जो मैंने पहले बताया हुआ था कि यहाँ पे एचएमपी का कंप्लीट बायोडिग्रेडेशन होता है. इसी एचएमपी को आगे लेके हमने फिल्म प्रिपेयर की हुई है, तो उसका ये एविडेंस है कि एचएमपी कंप्लीटली बायोडिग्रेडेबल है. ये हमने एफटीआईआर से एनालिसिस किया हुआ है. The next is FTR spectral analysis of film, comparison of PVA, PDGV, PDPVA without crosslinker film, PDGL is a crosslinker, PDTU is using a turmeric natural product using for wound dressing, and PDCVA crystal violet loaded film, it is also is used for wound dressing. Scanning electron microscope is lighter shade in same images of PDPV are show covered to suffer mainly hydrophobic domains where darker same images. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, your 10 minutes time is over. Please kindly wind up.
Ma'am, only concluded.
Yes, ma'am. Directly
Okay.
conclusion.
Okay. This is application, and it is biodegradable study. Shelf life of PDPVA, PDGL. Conclusion: PDPVA is a very good for the delivery for hydrophobic and hydrophilic drugs both. Swelling in various medium biodegradation and packaging application. It is concluded that those film may be application in packaging of respiring food. PDPVA can be used for short-term use and then biodegrade than 1 month. PDGL is more stable. It can used for a longer time as a biodegrades more slowly. Thank you.
Any queries? If somebody has, they can ask. Okay, next participant, Miss Rupali Bhati, Sharda University. Next participant, Dr. Anuradha Singh,
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Rupali.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, good
I mean,
morning.
good
You can
afternoon.
start your presentation.
Okay.
Rupali, share your PPT.
Ma'am, I'm sharing. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
No, now, yeah, now it is being visible. Yes, your PPT is visible.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I am Rupali Bhati from Sharda University, and today I'm going to present my topic, which is the role of natural compounds in plant extracts in diabetes. So let's first start with basic introduction of diabetes. What is diabetes mellitus? So diabetes mellitus is a chronic disease that affects the way the body processes the blood sugar. It occurs either when the pancreas does not produce enough insulin or when the body cannot efficiently use insulin that it produces. Insulin is basically a hormone that regulates the blood sugar. Next, we are having basically four types of diabetes: type 1, type 2, gestational, and pre-diabetics. So, type 1 diabetes, which is also known as insulin independent or childhood onset diabetes, is characterized by the deficient insulin production in the body. Uh, the people suffering from type 1 diabetes requires daily administration of insulin. The next, we are having type 2 diabetes. The type 2 diabetes is also called non-insulin dependent or adult onset diabetes, as it basically develops in adults. It results from the body's ineffective use of insulin, and it is the most like majority people are suffering with type 2 diabetes. The next, we are having gestational diabetes. It is a type of diabetes that can develop during pregnancy in women. It can develop in, around when a lady is pregnant, and it develops because the placenta of the mother prevents the usage of insulin. Then next we are having pre-diabetics. Here the blood sugar levels are higher than the normal ones, but not that much high that it is to be considered as type 2 diabetes. Next, we are having worldwide data of diabetes. This data has been taken from IDF, International Diabetes Federation, that reports 537 million adults between the age of 20 to 79 are living with diabetes, which is like 1 in 10. Then this number is predicted to rise to 643 million by 2030 and 783 million by 2045. Diabetes is responsible for 6.7 million deaths in 2001, which is every 1 person in 5 seconds. Next is this data has also been taken from IDF, which shows that China has the most like largest number of adults living with diabetes, followed by India and Pakistan, and this number will going to increase further in coming years. Next, we are having causes of diabetes mellitus. The main cause of diabetes is still unknown, but like type 2 diabetes can be caused by overweight, obesity, and physical inactivity. It can also be caused by insulin resistance, in which the body cell doesn't respond to the insulin and becomes resistant to it. It can also develop by genes or family history. If someone from your family is having the disease, then you are likely to catch the disease. Then some genetic factors like genetic mutations can also cause diabetes. The next is effects of high glucose levels. What are the effects of high glucose level on our body? So high glucose levels damage tissue throughout our body. And uncontrolled diabetes may also cause serious damages like damage to heart, blood vessels, eyes, kidneys, and nerves. There are some complications that are associated with diabetes, which includes heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, and nephropathy, which is basically kidney failure, and retinopathy and vision loss that are involved with like retinopathy is basically when there is a damage to blood tissue of retina. The next is hearing loss and foot damage. So, what are the current treatments that are available for diabetes? As of now, there are several pharmacological treatments that are available for diabetes, but they all have some side effects. First is metformin. Metformin is basically the most commonly used medicine for type 2 diabetes due to its durable and anti-hypoglycemic effects and low cost. But some of the diabetic patients cannot tolerate it and can have nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. The next we are having thiazolidines, which decreases the insulin resistance, but this therapy has some complications like severe complications such as risk of heart failure, bone fractures, and weight gain. The next is sulfonylurea, which triggers insulin secretion through ATP-dependent kinase channels and ATP-dependent potassium channels, but this also has some severe hypoglycemia and moderate weight gain effects. Then what are the roles of plant extract in diabetes and how we can use plant extracts to cure diabetes? So generally there are many drugs that are available in the market to treat diabetes, but they all have some one or other side effects. So currently many medicinal plants have been identified with variety of anti-diabetic properties, and this shows that they can possibly be used to treat this metabolic disease. Basically, these plants contain anti-diabetic compounds such as flavonoids, alkaloids, phenolics, and terpenoids, which primarily works by increasing the insulin production or decreasing the glucose absorption. Then here is the table which shows what which plants are basically which plants have what properties that can be used to cure diabetes. The first one is Acacia arabica, which is commonly known as gum arabica. It has anti-hypoglycemia and hypolipidemic and antioxidant properties. Hypoglycemia means increased level of glucose in our blood, and hypolipidemic means increased level of lipids or fat in our blood. The next
Rupali,
is
Rupali,
yes, ma'am.
last 2 minutes are left, so kindly wind up.
Okay, ma'am. I'll try. Okay, the next is alivum sativin, which decrease the serum glucose levels and total cholesterol. Then next is ginger, which shows reservative effects on pancreatic B cell, increasing the insulin sensitivity. Then next is Syzygium cumini albicans, which is black plum, uh, which have properties of non-hemolytic plant with potential against process of oxidation, glycation, and inflammation. The next is Moraya coinigi, which is curry tree, which contains multiple bioactive agents that helps in the regulation of beta cells in pancreas and reducing blood sugar levels. Then doses and effects, how we can use these plants, or like in which amount that can have great effects in diabetic peoples. First is acacia arabica, which is if we take 200 milligrams per kg of this plant over 21 days period, so this will increase the serum insulin. uh, okay, these all data have been taken from research papers. The next is Allium sativum, which is garlic. So ethanolic extracts of this plant have shown the increased level of serum glucose and total cholesterol, urea, and uric acids. The next is ginger, a powder supplements of
Rupali,
ginger.
Rupali, please come to the
Yes, ma'am.
conclusion slide on the last
Okay,
slide.
okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay, so my conclusions are that there are many treatments that are available, drug treatments that are available currently for diabetic treatments, but they all have some side effects. So we can use plant extracts instead of those drugs, which comes with less side effects and have great effects in diabetic peoples. And these compounds basically shows modulate various cellular pathways involved in glucose homeostasis, and such as insulin signaling, glucose uptake, and glucose metabolism. And so this my presentation summarizes the use of natural compounds and plant extract for the management of diabetes, highlighting their potential as safe and effective therapeutic agents for the treatment of diabetes mellitus. Thank you.
Next participant, Dr. Anuradha Singh.
Yes, ma'am, I am here. Am I
Yes.
audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Please share your PPT.
Yes, ma'am. Screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Very good afternoon. I am Dr. Anuradha Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, SS Khanna Girls Degree College, Prayagraj. First of all, I extend my heartfelt gratitude towards the organizers to present my work on this virtual platform of first international conference on nature and natural sciences. As a proud alumni of RDBB, Rani Durgavati Vishwavidyalaya, again thanks to organizer to give this opportunity. The theme of the conference, New Vistas in Green Technology and Socio-Economic Sustainability, inspire me to discuss my work. Let's take the background. Ma'am, my slide is moving or not?
No, ma'am. We are just able to see your first slide.
Okay. Again, it is not showing.
No, it's not.
I am sharing again.
Ma'am, it's not visible. PPT
Yes.
is not visible.
Ma'am, now?
Now it's coming, ma'am.
Okay. Background slide is visible or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So, the incident of bacterial infections has been one of the most multifaceted global health issue in the past and is escalating at an alarming rate and thereby presenting an extraordinary challenge to healthcare professionals. As you can see in this slide that superbugs, that is drug resistant bacterial strain, could prove deadlier than COVID-19. At present, according to World Economic Forum, it responsible for 7 lakhs per year death globally, with expert predicting a rise to 10 million deaths every year by 2050. In this slide, we can see that the superbugs bigger risk than cancer by 2050. Now, what is the antibiotic resistance and how it is spread? You can see from the slides. According to WHO, many drug-resistant pathogenic microbes have emerged in recent years because of increasing use or abuse of antibacterial agents as well as inaccurate diagnosis. In this slide, you can see the journey of discovery of antibiotics. We can see that this has led to fear of arrival of post-antibiotic era because there is discovery void between 1986 to 2017. Regulatory authorities approved no new class of antibiotics. So this led post-antibiotic era, an emerging concern to whole humanity. So now question is how to deal with the problem. To combat drug-resistant microorganisms, best scientific strategies include discovery and development of new, cost-effective and more potent pioneering antibacterial agent with minimum adverse effect. Problem of drug-resistant bacteria can be solved by either blocking the resistant mechanism or identifying novel drugs for the target. So, development of effective inhibitors of microbial replication, which can combat the world and drug-resistant microbial strain, we have found through literature survey that peptide deformylase as the most suitable target for development as the antibacterial agent. Why we choose peptide deformylase as antibacterial drug target? Actually, peptide deformylase PDF is an essential metalloenzyme required for the removal of formyl group at the end terminus of nascent polypeptide chain in bacteria and is therefore a target for antibacterial agents. In this work, we have chosen 4-thiazolidine scaffold as heterocyclic scaffold because it showed diverse activities and we inspired to choose this nucleus for synthesis. So it is therefore easy to understand why both the development of new methods and strategic deployment of known methods for the synthesis of complex heterocyclic compounds continue to drive the field of synthetic organic chemistry. Further, it is in the recent scenario, the impact of global warming and associated climate change has built up pressure on the researchers to focus on the option of green chemistry over traditional one for long-term sustainability of the environment. So, for the synthesis of 4-thiazolidine derivative, the recorded protocols, conventional protocols have many shortcomings like the use of earlier solvents, expensive catalyst, long workup procedures, harsh reaction conditions, insufficient atom economy, generation of the byproducts. So we develop a benign, eco-friendly and inexpensive protocol to synthesize these derivatives. As we know that water is the most abundant and environmentally friendly solvent available in the nature, and the organic reaction performed in it gained significant attention owing to its various advantages like low cost, safety, and environmentally friendly nature. Yet its application in organic synthesis is limited as the most organic substrate has poor solubility in water. So, first of all, I would like to throw some light on the current status of synthesis of
Excuse
these
me, ma'am.
derivatives.
Ma'am, since only 2 minutes are left for your
Oh,
presentation, so
okay,
kindly
ma'am.
present your conclusions.
Yes, ma'am. Number of protocols offering one step, two step, and multi component reactions for this synthesis. And we can see that we already discussed the shortcomings. So, number of strategies have been devised to solve this problem by creating the organic microenvironments in the aqueous phase by using surfactant, organic co-catalyst, co-solvent, or hydrophobic auxiliaries. So, we develop an eco-friendly approach in which we use home laundry based surfactant, home laundry effluent, which have surfactant like properties. Home laundry effluent from the wastewater has no use and it is causes of ecological imbalance and excess pressure on freshwater resources. So, in our novel synthetic methodologies, we use this innovative approach by formulating a solvent novel system which has surfactant like properties at minimal cost. So, methodology, first of all, we have designed our molecules through computer aided uh, software, Discovery Studio, and Mold Inspiring. We, on the basis of Lipinski's rule of five, we have selected some potent molecules for docking and
Anuradha, ma'am.
molecules. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Uh,
ma'am. Yes.
Ma'am, please tell the conclusions. Your time is already over.
Yes. On the basis of extensive docking experiment, we have designed a novel series of 4-thiazolidine derivative as peptide bacterial PDF inhibitors. The compound showed very promising in silico results as reflected by their high delta G value, high binding affinity, significant scoring function, and high protein ligand stabilization energy, which altogether lowered the predicted EC50 values for the test
Okay,
compound.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
And
thank
any
you.
queries, please?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next
Good afternoon,
participant.
ma'am. Ma'am, I'm Kunshlata Lal. Can I present my presentation?
It's my sincere request to all the participants to please present your PPTs in a precise way so that you can highlight your outcomes or results in front of the jury members because there is a time limit for presentation. So please take care of that. Next participant, Dr. Minakshi Nandlal, Assistant Professor, MD,
Excuse me,
University,
ma'am.
Rohtak.
Ma'am, I'm Kunshlata Lal. Can I present my presentation?
Ma'am, your presentation will be now in the end.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am, I'll call out your name.
Yeah.
Dr. Minakshi Nandlal, Assistant Professor, MD, University, Rohtak.
Yes, ma'am, I am present here.
Please, ma'am, share your PPT and please maintain the time frame.
Okay, ma'am. My slide visible?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, your slide is not visible.
Meenakshi, ma'am, your PPT is not visible.
Ma'am, I am trying.
Your screen is visible, but your PPT is not visible.
Ma'am, I will
Already 2
share.
minutes have gone now. Ma'am, please make it fast.
Ma'am, I'm trying.
It was visible in the. Ma'am, if you are facing some technical issues, we will move on forward, and then in the last, I will call out your name. Uh, okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, just give me 1 second or 2 seconds. I'm trying.
Meenakshi. Meenakshi ma'am, try sharing a window, not a bar.
Okay.
You are sharing entire screen. Try sharing a window only.
Ma'am, we will give you time afterwards. We are moving with the next participant, Dr. Rachna Bhateria, Assistant Professor, Maharshi Dayanand University, Rohtak.
Yes, ma'am, I am present here.
Ma'am, please share your PPT.
Yes, ma'am, just sharing. My screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
So first of all, I would like to thanks all the organizers for giving me this platform to share my views on this my presentation, and it is on the topic fate and removal of microplastics from industrial wastewater. Due to the industrial growth, a lot of wastewater has been contaminated, and in the wake of industrialization, all the industries are throwing their effluent as such in the environment without the proper treatment. And due to this, a lot of microplastics they come into existence in the surrounding environment. And as far as it has been seen, around 5 mm microplastic particles are there in the wastewater stream being released from the industrial wastewater. There are various classification of these microplastic, and they are clubbed into 6 categories: fibers, spheres, foams, plates, fragments, and films. The fibrous microplastics, they are in the dimension of 0.02 to 25.8 fibers per liter. It is seen in the wastewater stream, and the clothing industry is the major pollutant of this fibrous microparticles. Likewise, foamy plastic particles, they are being released out of plastics containers and packaging materials, which are responsible for the microplastics in the environment. Likewise, there is bullet shaped fragments, and which is the major route is the transport systems. And others also microplastic, other categories has been reported, like pellet, fiber, and fragments. Microplastics can be detected by various methods, but a single approach is not feasible to determine the size of microplastic. Hence, the multiple approach is required. The physical characterization of microplastic, they include the size distribution, color, and other physical attributes. And the most feasible method for detection of physical characterization is the stereo microscopic limitations. A stereo microscope, but it has certain limitations, and it also depends on the operator how they are characterizing that particular microplastics. Likewise, another characterization includes the chemical characterization, which includes two methods. One is spectroscopic method, and another one is thermoanalytical methods. The spectroscopic method includes the particle counts, dimensions, polymer types, and trace elements, whereas thermoanalytical method, it includes the polymer category and the mass. But there are various pros and cons of both the techniques, physical as well as chemical characterization. The spectroscopic techniques does not depict the steady mass concentration, whereas thermoanalytical procedure, it does not reveal the valid estimation of abundance of microplastics particles, and there is disparate outcome of various approaches, and a single identification technologies cannot give the exact results. The impact of microplastic on health and environment is wide, and chronic toxicity has been observed because of the microplastics due to their accumulation via food chain and built up in the organisms. It has been seen that potential obstruction in the tiny vertebrate digestive system is being observed, raising fauna susceptibility and impeding chemical interaction in the oceanic habitat. Likewise, microplastic contamination is also found in water, in drinking water, in foods, in sewage sludge as well. And investigations has revealed that high concentration of microplastics is being observed in the food chain, and it's an ongoing process. Other methods of physico-chemical elimination, how to eliminate the microplastic from the refinery waste, is being done, and various methods include the sedimentation, skimming, advanced tertiary level filtration systems, and the evolution of microplastic removal technologies is still it's in infancy stage, and it is ongoing. Many research have effectively tried to eliminate microplastic elimination using various methods. First is the coagulation one. Microplastic contamination can be stopped via coagulation method, and it can be done using various chemical coagulants like aluminium salts and of iron salts. The other method includes the electrocoagulation. Again, it is includes the cations which are produced by metal electrodes, and it has various advantages which include the sludge minimization, automated processing, efficient and low cost of ownership, and low operational cost. The third method includes the advanced oxidation process. It is extensively researched and addresses many environmental contaminants. And advanced oxidation process has been investigated, and it is known to eradicate microplastics through reactive oxygen species, which is generated out of the advanced oxidation process. And the design and working parameters is a matter of concern when we talk about the advanced oxidation process and carrying it from the lab to the pilot scale projects. And it is seen that in the coming time, advanced oxidation process will play a significant role in the removal of microplastic from the environment. Another technology which is known to remove the microplastic is the membrane filtration. The ultrafiltration technology is it is known to remove the tiny plastic particles ranging from 20 to 190 micrometers in size, and advanced particulate separation techniques are available along with the biological filters, and the development and expense of the existing technology needs to be addressed. Next technology is the nanofiltration, which is a most important technology and is a matter of concern nowadays. And nanofilters, they are known to remove the microplastic, but it also decreases the pore size and filtering efficiency in a long run. And as maximum as 95% efficiency has been observed using nanofilters, and are known to remove 95% of the microplastic from the wastewater stream. Along with the physical and chemical methods, the biological and biotechnological methods are also available for removal of microplastic. First is the phytoremediation.
Ma'am, please come to the conclusions.
Yes, phytoremediation species such as Lemna minor, Spirodella have been observed. Likewise, bioreactor is also known to remove the microplastic, but the limitation is the seasonal fluctuations. Bioremediation, the species such as bacteria of A. tumefaciens and testosterone are known to observe the microplastic. And finally, I conclude my presentation that various technologies are available, physical, chemical, and biotechnological, for the removal of microplastics. And the microplastics research is an ongoing process, and it is still in the infancy, and lot of research needs to be done for seeing the fate and removal of microplastics from the environment. Thank you for the patience listening, and I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving to the next participant, Dr. Bindu Vijay, Assistant Professor, Gujarat National Law University.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. I'll be presenting. Thank you, ma'am.
Please share your PPT, ma'am.
Ma'am, I hope my PPT is visible. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Your PPT is visible, ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon, respected dignitaries and all the audience present here. I am Dr. Bindu Vijay from Gujarat National Law University. The title of my paper is Moringa oleifera, a miracle plan for accomplishing sustainable development goals. Moringa is a perennial woody plant of Moringa family, which is originating in arid and semi-arid regions of tropical and southern tropics. It is popularly known as drumstick tree all over India. Presently, more than 30 countries in the world have reportedly introduced and cultivated moringa. The plant can be used in food, medicine, cosmetics, and water purification and has got good research prospects. Uh, it is being tagged as a miracle plant, miracle tree because of its multi-purpose benefits, not only in terms of food and medicine, but also for the industrial purposes. If you look into the image, if you look into the plant, we can see that the leaves of the plant, the flowers, the seeds as well as the pods are highly nutritious and has got rich antioxidant and phytochemical properties. Moringa is also been traditionally used throughout ages, and it has got several medicinal properties both in Ayurvedic and Unani system. Almost all parts of moringa tree have been used as a natural medicine. It is been reported to have antimicrobial, anti-helminthic, anti-hismatic, anti-cancer, anti-tumor, as well as wound healing activity. There are several further research that is being carried out in pharmacognostic studies in order to further expedite its potential medicinal uses. In addition to its property as a food and medicine, it also finds a lot of application in the industry as well as agronomical areas. For example, it finds a lot of application as a domestic cleaning agent. It's also find its application as a fertilizer, honey clarifier. It is being reported that powdered seeds can be used to clarify honey without boiling, and the seed powder can be used to clarify even sugarcane juice. It also finds a lot of application in cosmetic and toiletries. It is been reported that traditionally, even in the ages of even in our ancient ages, it has been used as one of an important ingredient in cosmetic property because of its antibacterial property. It find application in cosmetic and perfumery industry. The plant is also being used in plant disease prevention. Incorporating moringa leaves into the soil before planting can prevent damping of disease like the one caused by Pythium species among seedlings. It also finds a lot of application as a newsprint as well as writing paper. Coming to the major theme of my paper, that is SDG goal. It is been known to everyone that on September 2015, a total of 17 sustainable development goals known as the global goal were adopted as part of a sustainable development agenda, which is to be achieved over the next 15 years. The SDG build on progress made toward the 8th Millennium Development Goal from 1990 to 2015 and incorporated other emergent themes including climate change, economic inequality, innovation, sustainable consumption, peace, justice, etc. If we look into this 17 sustainable goals at glance, we can see that majority of these goals can be achieved wherein Moringa oleifera will make a significant contribution. For example, sustainable goal number 2, which is on end of hunger, achieving food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Goal number 2 is considered to be one which is having highly beneficial to cultivate Moringa oleifera. Similarly, sustainable development goal number 6 on clean water, sustainable development goal 7 on affordable clean energy, sustainable development goal on 9, that is resilient infrastructure promoting sustainable industry, goal number 13 on climate action, goal number 15 on sustainable development forestry and restoration, as well as goal number 12 on ensuring the sustainable consumption and production patterns. All these indicates that we can identify that several of these SDGs are directly considered to be relevant, where Moringa oleifera or the domestic tree can make a significant contribution. Specifically looking into sustainable goal number 2, that is end hunger, achieve food security and improving the nutrition and promoting sustainable development agriculture, it has got nearly 5 times sensitive targets, and Moringa can contribute to achieving all the 5 targets by applying practices that have been traditionally been used by ages and generation, and promoting new innovation that can continuously improve upon the current best practices. If we look into some of the marketed products that is available in India and abroad, nowadays we see that it has been increasingly been available in the health shops, both in online and offline, in the form of leaf powder, tea oil, capsules, etc. And Moringa market has also, yes ma'am.
Ma'am, 2 minutes more are left.
Moringa market has also gained more exposure owing
Kindly come to the conclusion slide, ma'am.
Yes. So thus, Moringa is a miracle tree that can help meet United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 2, 6, 7, 9, 12, 13, and 15. Several United Nations agencies such as World Food Program, WFP, Food and Agricultural Organization, UNESCO, UNEP, and UNICEF have all paid tribute to Moringa as a miracle tree with the potential to further UN agenda for sustainable development. There are also reports that have estimated that Moringa can also improve household food security and nutrition and mitigate climate change. Given the potential and many of the food and non-food application of Moringa, there is an urgent need to aggressively promote the cultivation and utilization of this particular plant in our country than preferring the plants like Conocarpus, which is being cultivated along the roadside across the country. With this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. These are the references.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next participant, Mrs. Vibha Shripal, Assistant Professor, Government MH College of Home Science and Science for Women, Jabalpur.
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Vibha Shripal, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, please share your PPT.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sharing. Is it visible, ma'am?
No, ma'am, not yet. Ma'am, your PPT is not visible. Mrs. Vibha Shripal, are you there? Okay, I think Madam is facing some technical issues. We will move on with the next participant, Dr. Madhulika Singh, Assistant Professor, Chhatrapati Sahuji Maharaj University, Kanpur.
Yes, ma'am, I am there.
Ma'am, please kindly share your PPT. Dr. Madhulika Singh.
Yes, ma'am, I am sharing.
One more request to the participants, please keep your PPT
Is the slide is visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is being visible. Ma'am, please, while giving presentation, take care of the time frame and concentrate on your conclusions.
Sure, sure.
Okay, ma'am.
Good afternoon, one and all. I, Dr. Madhulika Singh, from Department of Life Sciences and Biotechnology, CSGM University, Kanpur. Before I start, I would like to thanks for giving me this opportunity to the organizing committee. Today, I am going to share some of my findings related on the topic phytochemical production from in vitro established shoot cultures of 2 medicinal herbs. As we all know that herb plants are the major source of natural products, and these products are being used in pharmaceutical, agrochemicals, food and flavor additives. Out of these, uses. The medicinal plants are the most the medicinal plant is the most commonly used because the medicinal plants are most exclusive source of life-saving drugs for the majority of the world's population. And even for most of the drugs, still we are dependent on the natural resources. A very few of these are chemically synthesized because their chemical synthesis pathway is very tedious. So it's not possible to synthesize all these drugs, and we have to depend on the natural plant resources for these medicinal products, or can say all these medicinal or phytochemicals. So, and with the increasing population, the demand of these products is also supposed to be increased. And because of this, the population of many medicinal plants are depleting to low number at an alarming rate as a result of anthropogenic pressure as well as habitat destruction. There is a technique which is known as plant tissue culture. This technology, it helps in maintaining cells, tissues, organs, and individuals in artificial nutrient and environment. This technique is being used for micropropagation of rare and endangered plants, for germplasm conservation, and many more. The plant which I have selected, one is the Eclipta alba, commonly known as Bhringraj. Eclipta alba is a small branched medicinal herb with white flower heads. Is native to tropical and subtropical region of world, found in the moist areas, waste places, and roadsides. This plant, the selection, the choice is because the plant is have wide spectrum of medicinal applications, and all parts of these plants are used in different medicinal applications like hepatoprotective protection, anti-inflammatory agent, antibacterial, antifungal agent. Then is being used in hair oil. Then in jaundice, leaves contains wound healing and antioxidant properties. Another plant is the Rumex dentatus. This plant is an annual medicinal herb with stem 20 to 60 centimeter tall basal leaves. This plant is also grown at wet places and cultivated fields. This plant is also have a wide range of medicinal application like anti-inflammatory, anti-tumor activity, anti-helminths, then allelopathy activity, then inhibits cell proliferation and induces apoptosis, and many more. So by using the tissue culture technique, some of the problems related to the sustainable production of these products, as well as consistent production of these medicinal or phytochemical can be carried out by using the tissue culture technique. Like production by using tissue culture technique, production can be carried out consistently throughout the year, and the risk of crop failure due to the natural hazards and changes in the accumulation of the secondary metabolites depending on the environmental condition in the nature, then danger of extinction from the nature can be eliminated. Then potential renewable source of valuable medicinal compounds is possible. Bioconversion of low value compounds into a high value and novel compound is possible. And by using tissue culture technique for production of phytochemical, we can achieve some of two of these SDG goals also. So based on these concepts, the question arises, is it possible to use in vitro biomass for the production of phytochemicals for these two highly useful medicinal products, that is Eclipta alba and Rumex dentatus? To justify or to prove this hypothesis, we plan to induce in vitro shoot multiplication, and for this we used the Murashik and scoop medium for raising the culture, and the medium was supplemented with the cytokinin, two cytokinin, that is benzyl aminopurine and kinetin. As we all know that these two cytokinins are known for the shoot multiplication. And in this medium, the plant, explant, that is the...
Ma'am,
yes,
please
ma'am?
tell the conclusions.
Okay.
The results and outcomes of your research work.
Yes, yes. So this is the result, that is the about the Eclipta alba. Of the two cytokinin, we found that DAP is more potent in shoot multiplication. The percent response is, as well as the number of shoots were high for the medium having BAP. And in here you can see the shoot multiplication in case of Eclipta alba. This is the nodal explant, and in this one you can see the induction of the shoot buds, then multiple shoots. Similarly, when this Remus dentatus were cultured, we also find that the BAP was better than the this kinetin. This one is showing the multiplication of from rheumatoid dentatus explant. Then for phytochemical extraction, we taken out these shoots 4 to 5 months, from 4 to 5 month old culture, dried at 25 to 30 degrees centigrade, and then by using the methanol as a solvent, we extracted the phytochemical. In this slide, you can see that both the plant showed the presence of phenolics, flavonoid, and also showed the DPPH activity. And this table is showing
slide. Your time is over, ma'am.
Yeah. So on this basis, we can say that in vitro culture can be used for this phytochemical production without damaging nature. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Next
participant, Miss Shruti Namdev, Research Scholar, Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidyalaya, Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. Shruti Namdev, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Please present.
Ma'am, my screen is visible?
No, your PPT is not visible. Please share your PPT.
Just 2 minutes, ma'am. I'm sharing.
All the participants are requested to keep your PPT ready so that we can save some time.
Ma'am, is it visible now?
No, it's not visible yet, Shruti. Now it's being visible.
Okay, ma'am.
But it's not your PPT. Yeah, now it is visible. You can start now. Please concentrate on conclusions of your research.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon to all. My name is Shruti Namdev. Today's my presentation topic is using GIS and remote sensing techniques for soil erosion mapping at Arpa River Basin area. List of content, introduction, objective, methodology, result, conclusion, references. Introduction. Soil erosion is the common land degradation problem in the worldwide because of its economic use and environmental effect. Soil erosion can be defined as a method of displacement, transportation of surface soil particles from its origin and deposition at some other areas. Objective. The objective of present study is to estimate the annual soil loss using remote sensing and GIS techniques and Russell model of RKG of Arpa River Basin, Chhattisgarh, India. Methodology. Arpa River Basin were selected for this study. Arpa River Basin located in central part of India in Bilaspur district, Chhattisgarh, India. This slide represents the sources for data collection where digital elevation model, LALC, soil data, rainfall data, and slope map were prepared. This is a research frame of this particular study. Rochelle model were used for generating soil erosion map. Rochelle model also called a revised universal soil loss equation. Rochelle is an equation that estimate average annual soil loss by sheet and rill erosion. Uh, and the equation of a Rochelle model is A equal to A into K into C into LS into P. Result of the study. First one is erodivity factor, which is also called R factor. The following formula was used to calculate the R factor. This is the final map of R factor. Second one is soil erodivity, which is also called K factor. This table represents the type of soil type present in the study area, along with percentage of sand, silt, clay, organic matter, and F factors. And this is a final map of a K factor. Third one is land cover management, also called a C factor, and this table represents a different type of LULC along with area cover and C factor values. This is a final map of C factor, and fourth one is a slope, length, and steepness, and this is a map of LS factor. This is the fifth one factor, which is conventional practices, and this table represents a different type of LULC along with a, different value of a P factor, and this is the final map of P factor. Estimation of potential soil erosion. This is the final map of soil erosion map, which is divided into 5 different classes. First one is very low, second one is low, third one is moderate, fourth one is high, and last one is very high soil erosion. Conclusion. This study indicates that the major potential of study portion of study area are under low soil erosion, which is 20,995 hectare, and only a small portion of the research area are under high and very high soil erosion zone, which is 173 hectare. This research has examined the slope length and slope steepness factor, soil erodivity factor, followed by rainfall erodivity factor, were found to be the main factor of soil erosion. The special temporal changes of the indicates might help tracking of soil changes over time. These are the some references. Thank you.
Thank you, Shruti. Next participant, Ms. Priyanka Pandey, Research Scholar, University of Allahabad. Priyanka Pandey, are you there? Okay, next participant, Dr. Neera Mehra, Associate Professor, Swami Shraddhanand College, University of Delhi. Dr.
Hello,
Neera
ma'am.
Mehra?
Yes,
ma'am.
I'm here. I'm
Please,
just
ma'am,
presenting
share
you.
your PPT.
Okay. क्या हुआ? Oh no, stop sharing.
Ma'am, your PPT is not visible.
Okay, just a moment, I'm sharing it. I don't know why
Ma'am,
this
it's not
coming.
coming.
Okay, start sharing.
Okay, ma'am.
I
In the
don't know why
meantime,
it is not.
you resolve your issues. We are moving forward. We'll call out your name in the last now. Next
Okay.
participant, Dr. Shamji Shukla, Assistant Professor, Mata Gujri Mahila Mahavidyalay, College, Jabalpur.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So please share your PPT.
Yes, ma'am. Just wait. I am sharing.
So please make it fast.
My PPT is visual, ma'am?
No, sir. Your windows are visible. Your screen is visible, I think, not your PPT.
Okay, okay. Yes, ma'am. Now my PPT is visual?
Yeah, it is visible now.
Okay, thank you very
Please
much.
start, sir, and please concentrate on conclusions.
Okay, okay. So first of all, I would like to many congratulations and thanks to entire committee members for giving me this an opportunity to share my PPT, share my research work, and just an overview. And just I have chosen this topic, and this is not my hardcore research work which I am going to present, but just an review on pharmacological compounds from fungi. So it's very important. First, we should know about why fungi is important, why fungal diversity is important, what is the beauty of fungi. So first, I would like to define the biological diversity. Athwa biodiversity is defined as the variety and value of life on Earth at genetic, organism, and ecological level. Fungal biodiversity means variety and variability of fungi on Earth, and these fungi are eukaryotic acrophilous organisms live in wide array of habit and habitats on Earth. Being achrochlorophyllous, fungi exhibit an absorptive mode of nutrition which leads to saprophyte, parasite, and mutualistic existence. And just you can see key fungi are not only beautiful, but they have play a very significant role for the welfare of human beings. These are the some important micro and macro fungi, and this is some literature about the fungi. Fungi have a worldwide distribution and grow in a wide range of habitats, including extreme environments such as deserts or deep sediments. And they are ubiquitous in terrestrial habitats, and they are very important components of both marine and freshwater ecosystems. According to Hawksworth, which he has estimated, in 1.5 million species are known, but we have not explored all fungal isolates. So a huge fungal wealth is hidden, and we need to explore. We can say that 1/3 of fungal diversity of the globe exists only in India, and fungal biotechnology has become an integral part of the human welfare. That's why we need to explore it, and it has a huge potential for the welfare of human beings. And this is the fungal diversity. We can classify based on habitats: phytopathogenic fungi, endophytic fungi, entomopathogenic fungi, mushrooms, keratinophilic fungi. These are different groups of fungi. And we have isolated so many bioactive compounds from these different fungal groups for the welfare of human beings. And this is the potential hotspots. And you can see from this map, we have different a variety of fungi in different areas. Like northeast, you will find Cordyceps materialis and Cordyceps sinensis in northeast, which is Sikkim and Gangtok. And in Himalayan range, you will find the Morchella esculenta like mushrooms, which have a very huge pharmacological potential. And many earlier workers have isolated so many bioactive compounds from these important fungal groups. And Western Ghat is known as the hometown of rust and smuts. And in south regions, you will find different extremophilic fungi. So this is the map, and we are living in the central India, where Cantharellus tropicalis and Macrolepiota and different kinds of fungi exist in our central India. So it's our we can say कि हमारा ये सौभाग्य है कि हम लोग सेंट्रल इंडिया में रहते हैं और डिफरेंट जो हमारे ये मशरूम्स हैं जो ह्यूमन मैनकाइंड के लिए यूज होते हैं उनको एक्सप्लोर करके हम कोई नई एक ड्रग डिस्कवर कर सकते हैं और वो ड्रग ह्यूमन वेलफेयर के लिए यूज की जा सकती है. So realizing the need and importance of these different kinds of fungal groups, we have designed our work to fulfill the objectives of to fulfill the following objectives: to explore bioactive compounds from these different groups and to explore their mechanism of action and to test these different compounds for different kinds of pharmacological activities. So this term came from pharmacology. This is not new, this is very old term, but you should know about what is pharmacological compounds. Pharmacological compound is a compound that has an effect on a living organism's tissues or cell. So these compounds are very specific. They have different targets, they have different mode of actions, they have different solid mode of actions. That's why we should work on these pharmacological compounds. So from this table, we have collected some literature. Earlier, so many workers have isolated many bioactive compounds having bioactivities like gliotoxins from Aspergillus, lobastatins from Aspergillus starius, and nemocandin and capsaicin, Taxol, aflatoxins, alpha-amanitin, aflatoxin, cyclosporin. So many bioactive compounds have been already have been isolated from these different kinds of fungi. So it is a very important part. We can again explore new compounds for some new to combat the new human diseases. And when we talk about the endophytic fungi, this is a very important group of fungi because we can अगर हम एंडोफिटिक फंजाई की बात करें और उसके फार्माकोलॉजिकल कंपाउंड्स की बात करते हैं तो हमें डायरेक्ट पूरे प्लांट्स को कट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, सिर्फ उसके हम स्टेम, बार्क एंड लीव्स को लेकर के वहां से फंजाई को हम आइसोलेट करके बहुत सारे फार्माकोलॉजिकल कंपाउंड्स को आइसोलेट कर सकते हैं और इन फंजाई को हम ह्यूमन वेलफेयर के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं. तो आप इस टेबल से देख सकते हैं कि किस तरह से डिफरेंट जो बायोएक्टिव कंपाउंड्स हैं वो डिफरेंट एंडोफिटिक फंजाई से आइसोलेट किए गए हैं. और ये टेबल से आप देखिए बहुत सारे एंटी कैंसरस, एंटी ट्यूमर, जिसमें से सबसे ज्यादा पैक्लीटेक्सल कंपाउंड है जो यूज हो रहा है प्रेजेंट टाइम में. एंड टेक्सोल इज अ वेरी वेल नोन कंपाउंड विच हैव बीन आइसोलेटेड फ्रॉम टेक्सोडियम डिस्टिकम एंड राइजोफोरा amalexiana and Texas baccata. These are very important medicinal plants, and we have isolated endophytic fungi like Alternaria alternata, Aspergillus fumigatus, and Pestilopsis ternelli. These are very important endophytic fungi having pharmacological potential. So again, these are the different endophytic fungi like Fusarium solni, Fusarium oxysporum, Fusarium javanicum, Fusarium solni, Fusarium verticillides, Fusarium sambucinum. We have isolated different kinds of compounds having different kinds of pharmacological actions.
So
And
please come to the conclusion slide.
and this is the antimicrobial compounds from again endophytic fungi, and this is the medicinal mushroom which have 900 types of pharmacological properties like antiviral, anti-tumor, antibacterial, immunomodulating compounds. And this is some antimicrobial compounds which have been isolated from mushrooms. And this is my research work because after realizing their need and importance of these different kinds of fungal groups, we have started to work on this field like isolation of entomopathogenic fungi, and we have isolated different kinds of entomopathogenic fungi for exploration of bioactive compounds. And these are the phytopathogenic fungi. More than 200 isolates we have collected from different regions, and isolation process is going on. And this is the material and methods. If any researchers is interested, they can go according to this methodology for exploration of bioactive compounds. So, and this, we have different kinds of mushroom in our lab, which we have Cantharellus tropicalis we have collected from this Balaghat region, is very important mushroom having anti-cancerous activity. And this side, right side, you can see Morchella esculenta. It is present in Himalayan range, Jammu and Kashmir. So we have collected different kinds of mushrooms from different regions, and we are trying to isolate bioactive compounds from these fungal groups. So in my conclusion, just I would like to conclude my work. We are focusing on biodiversity and bioprospecting of novel microorganisms. And during the last 20 years, Department of Biological Sciences and Mata Gujari Mahila Mahavidyalaya at Jabalpur undertook several exploration of central India and recovered fungal and yeast germplasm of biotechnological importance. And we need culture collection centers to preserve these important fungal groups for future generations. And the compound extracted in the present investigation could be used as a broad spectrum antibiotic against many pathogenic microorganisms. And this is my future prospects. And this is conclusion. The vast majority of microorganisms need to be explored, identified, and conserved. And in this slide, you can say the microorganism always right, your friend, your sensitive partner. There are no stupid microorganisms. All microorganisms have a very good properties. Just we need to explore in this way. And finally, I would like to acknowledge my guru, Professor Akhilesh Kumar Pandey, Vice Chancellor, Vikram University, Ujjain, for guiding me. And I am grateful to QRI, Consolidation of University Research for Innovation and Excellence in Women Universities and Women's PG Colleges, Department of Science and Technology, New Delhi, for financial assistance. And my heartfelt gratitude to Professor A.K. Burma, Secretary, ABRS, Prayagraj, and organizing team members for providing this opportunity to me. Thank you very much to all of you for your kind patience and kind listening. बहुत स्पीड के साथ मैंने बोला है. किसी का कोई अगर इसमें कोई क्वेरीज है, कोई क्वेश्चन है, तो यू कैन आस्क.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes.
this is Priyanka. Ma'am, can I present myself right now? Because at that time,
Yes,
my
ma'am.
microphone
Ma'am,
was
we
not
will call
working.
out in the last, those who are left. Okay, ma'am. We'll give you a chance, ma'am. Please wait. Next participant, Miss Aditi Roy, Research Scholar, University of Lucknow.
Yes, ma'am.
Please share your PPT, ma'am.
Ma'am, is it visible?
No, it's not visible.
Ma'am, is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Aditi Roy, Research Scholar from University of Lucknow. I am delighted to present my research work entitled Bioremediation of Lindane through Novel Yeast Strain and its Consortia with Bacteria. Lindane, also known as gamma-hexachlorocyclohexane or gamexine, have been one of the most prominent pesticide used worldwide, along with exhibiting some of the insecticidal properties. Its excessive use in agriculture and in medicinal purpose have led to its high production demands, resulting in release of 8 to 10 tons of waste as HCH mark in per ton of generation. Also, the lipophilic nature allows it to easily bioaccumulate and persist in food chain and cause severe life-threatening problems. Prominent newspapers have also highlighted the issue regarding death and sickness spreaded in the vicinity due to the dumping of this kind of harmful substances. Although the production and use of lindane have been completely banned, the persistence and recalcitrance of lindane allows it to reside in environment for longer time. Thus, HCS dump site can still be traced in countries like Brazil, Netherlands, Greece, Canada, Germany, Spain, India, China, and even in US. So now the question comes, why I have chosen bacteria and yeast for bioremediation purpose? To this, the answer is Bacteria and yeast provide an inexpensive and readily available source of biomass when compared to filamentous fungus and other microbes. They also show rapid growth in even in the harsh environment.
Aditi, your slides are not moving.
Ma'am, is it coming?
Yeah, now it's coming.
So now the question comes that why I have chosen bacteria and yeast. So bacteria and yeast provide an inexpensive and readily available source of biomass as compared to filamentous fungus and other microbes. They also show rapid growth even in harsh environmental conditions, although the degradation potential is totally influenced by site-specific environmental conditions. This is the layout of the methodology that I have followed to carry out my study. Starting from the sample collection, soil samples were collected from HCS dump site located in Umri village in Barabanki and also from open drain behind a small-scale industrial belt at Chenhat, Lucknow. Secondly, in the second step, different bacteria and yeast strains have been isolated from the soil sample collected through enrichment setup. Now, a total of 6 bacterial strains and 4 yeast strains have been isolated and identified and thus were selected for further degradation and dechlorinase enzyme activity. For the degradation study, the mother culture of the strains were inoculated with lindane concentration. The sample were aliquoted in alternative time period, which were then centrifuged. After this, residual lindane were extracted from the supernatant and studied through gas chromatography. Similarly, for enzyme activity, the dechlorinase enzyme was studied through sonicating the cell palette. The dechlorinase enzyme have been found to be the key enzyme involved in initiating the breakdown of lindane to simpler and degradable compounds. So after studying for the degradation and enzyme activity, suitable yeast and bacterial strains were selected for forming consortia after checking their compatibility with each other. The main aim to form consortia was to elevate the degradation potential of the selected strain. After the formation of consortia, the cultures were similarly studied for degradation and enzyme activity through GC and spectrophotometer respectively. Now comes the results and observation. So for the degradation, among the 6 isolated bacterial and 4 isolated yeast strains, bacterial strains namely Bacillus velegensis and Bacillus vegetarium, and yeast strains namely Myrozyma caribica and Candida tropicalis showed higher degradation potential when exposed to 1000 ppm of lindane within 10 days of incubation. Among this, Bacillus megaterium and Myrozyma caribica showed maximum dechlorinase activity along with better growth pattern. So based on the above results, these are the 4 strains that have been selected for forming of consortia, which were then studied for their degradation level. This graph depicts that both the Bacillus strain, the consortia of both the Bacillus strain with Myrozyma performs better than the rest. Similarly, enzyme activity of both the Bacillus with Myrozyma caribica showed maximum enzyme activity within 4th and 6th day of incubation. At last, my objective was to isolate diverse microbial species capable of degrading lindane and to serve as a potential agent for ex situ bioremediation of high level of contaminated site. To this, the outcome was that 2 bacterial strain and 2 yeast strain have showed maximum degradation potential. Out of this, Myrozyma caribica showed maximum dechlorinase activity and its consortia with both the Bacillus strain showed better degradation activity and enzyme activity. In future, the degradation pathway can be studied for all these strains. Along with the formation of consortia, these can be used with plants in order to provide a new insight for better bioremediation work, which will help to examine the mechanism of enhanced degradation or phytoextraction of the selected microbes. These are some of the literature cited. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. Next participant, Dr. Pallavi Praveen, Assistant Professor, Bokaro, Jharkhand.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, ma'am.
Just a minute. Is it okay? Is my sharing visible?
Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay. A very warm good afternoon. Why did you stop it? Just a minute, just a minute. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, okay. A very warm good afternoon to the organizing committee, jury members, and my co-participants of the International Conference on Nature and Natural Science. My name is Dr. Pallavi Praveen, and I'm from the Department of Botany, Bokaro Steel City College, Bokaro. It's an industrial town in Jharkhand. The topic that I've chosen for today's presentation is sustainable wastewater management, a natural approach using algae in oxidation pond. So, reclaimed or reused or rather recycled water is a sustainable and economic practice for sustainable wastewater management, and using oxidation pond and in that most commonly used natural approaches towards wastewater management. Now, an oxidation pond or a waste stabilization pond, it is designed to build and to treat and rather reduce the organic content and pathogens for domestic as well as industrial wastewater through successive interaction of sunlight, bacteria, and algae. Now, technologies based on natural system of waste management and treatment, they have a distinct advantage over the other systems because they are more eco-friendly and they use minimum mechanical equipments, and they are being widely explored in countries like ours for sustainable waste management. Now, how to achieve sustainable solution and what are the pathways? Proper collection, treatment, disposal, as well as utilization of wastewater of domestic and industrial origin are the essential requirements for the protection of public health and improved quality of life. Now, if we compare the various treatment routes available for restoration of wastewater, natural systems seem to form a key component. The main underlying principle of operation of this system is its dependence on natural components for achieving the intended purpose. They have clear-cut advantages over the other systems, being being cost effective, having low operational and maintenance cost, and they have an ability to handle fluctuating organic and hydraulic loads. Now, we also have a climatic advantage in a warm country like ours for the use of such systems. They are simple to operate without requiring any special equipment and skill, and the ratio of BOD removal is also very high, as high up to 90%. They have potential use as reservoir for irrigation and fish culture as well. Now, an oxidation pond is an open shallow basis which is excavated in the ground, used for secondary treatment of microbial based purification of wastewater. Liquid waste is focused in these ponds and retained for specific periods depending on the nature of the load to permit desired interventions. In the oxidation pond, a natural combination of oxygen using bacteria and oxygen producing algae convert organic as well as inorganic waste into stable secondary effluents that can be safely released into the receiving water bodies. Now I have represented an equation which shows the aerobic biodegradation process taking place in an oxidation pond. So keeping the potential of the oxidation pond in wastewater management, an investigation was carried out on the ecological role, primarily focusing on the algae in an oxidation pond situated at Dhandabra in Bokaro district, which is basically an industrial town. We have a steel industry here, as well as we have various mines in the surrounding areas of Dhanbad. Now, in this study, an attempt has been made to establish a relationship between the phytoplanktonic population and the waste material. And the study was carried out for 4 seasons. Now, here I have represented the quantitative processes. I'll speedily go through it. The gross primary productivity.
Ma'am, please tell the conclusions, ma'am.
Sure.
What were the outcomes, ma'am?
The gross primary production ranged between 1.13 GC per meter square per day to 4.01 GC per meter square per day. And it showed the peak values from June to September. And there was a clear-cut bimodal pattern of variation that was recorded. And net production also varied similarly. So there was a positive relationship which was observed between the planktonic standing stock and the productivity value. Now, if we see the results, as many as 99 species belonging primarily, the highest percentage was that of the chlorophyceae, as well as the cyanophyceae, bacillariophyceae, and euglyninini were recorded during the entire course of investigation. Percent composition and relative abundance of these classes show that chlorophyceae were the most dominant, followed by the blue-green algae and then the diatoms, and euglyninini were very few species were recorded. So 16 species were recorded from the mixing site where the effluents entered the pond. Actually, there was a series of ponds. Out of these, species belonging to Cyanophyta, 2 species belonging to Cyanophyta, Oscillatoria subbrevis and Formidium luridum, and 1 of euglyninini, Ficus longicordia, were recorded from the mixing site only, just the mixing site, and not from the discharge site. Yeah, sure. These are the results.
The conclusions.
And here are some of the representative members of various classes. So, to conclude, we can say that there was a reduction in the number of kinds of algae at the mixing site, since there is an exposure of algae to the sewage pollution stress. Since the pond in such a condition is exposed to a changed environmental condition, the sensitive species disappeared, leaving behind only the tolerant ones, which may be termed as indicators of sewage pollution. Now, an understanding of the algal fluctuation of such a pond is essential for its proper management. The planktonic population of the oxidation pond, it showed a bimodal pattern of fluctuation with maximum in monsoon and summer and minimum in the winter months. This irregular pattern of fluctuation was followed by green algae, suggesting their wide range of nutrient status and direct bearing on the productivity of an aquatic body. The oxidation pond contained a mixed flora and does not exhibit the predominance of any particular species. This suggests that the pond could handle a heavier load. A majority of the common oxidation pond algae were planktonic and they did not collect on the surface to form a bloom. Other than the planktonic population, or the algal population.
Your time is over, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm just concluding. Detailed phytochemical analysis was also done, which included total alkalinity, phosphate, silicate, chloride, nitrogen, TDS, oil and grease, phenol, cyanide, organic matter, and BOD. I had referred to BOD earlier also, that almost 75 to 90.
Ma'am, time is running out, so please conclude, ma'am. Please end. We are moving to the next participant, ma'am.
Just a few seconds. Almost 75 to, sure. Thanks. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Next participant, Miss Indu, research scholar Binod Bilhari Mehto, Koilan Chal University, Dhanbad.
Good afternoon, ma'am, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Indu, a research scholar
Please share your
from Binod
PPT,
Bihari
Indu.
Mahto Financial University. Yes, ma'am, sure.
Participants are requested to please take care of the time frame. We are running short of time because many programs are attached here with are followed by this technical session.
Is my PPT is visible, ma'am?
Yes, your PPT is visible.
Okay. The topic of my presentation is the pharmacological study of aqueous extract of bark and leaf of Begonia acuminata. Begonia acuminata, known as the Kachnar, belongs to the family Fabaceae. It is an ornamental flower, mostly distributed in southern Asia and in India, mostly distributed in northern India. Many studies reveal that Kachnar is rich in secondary metabolites and used as a traditional medicine and called the holistic medicinal plant. It has anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antidepressant effects. It is used to cure acute and chronic pain, skin ailments, throat infection, and asthma. So the proposed work has been planned to analyze the phytochemical presence in leaf and bark of the Kachnar. Kachnar used in different ways, like it used in colds to treat many throat infections, bark used against cancer and
Miss
used as
Indu?
a herbal medicine for diabetes.
Miss Indu,
Ma'am?
please make your PPT full screen. It's not showing on full screen.
Ma'am, is it okay?
No. Your voice is also coming very low. Share your PPT in full screen mode. Okay.
Ma'am, I'm showing, is it okay?
No, it's not visible yet.
मैम क्या मैं कंक्लूड कर सकती हूँ आगे?
Okay, okay. Conclude your study.
This study is for identification of secondary metabolites, and after getting many of results, I concluded that the plants are the source of secondary metabolites, that is alkaloid, flavonoid, terpenoids, flavotannins, and reducing sugars, medicinal plants. And these medicinal plants are vital in role in preventing various diseases. It is anti-inflammatory, anti-malarial, antimicrobial in effect activities. Medicinal plants are used for discovering and researching for phytochemical constituents, which are very helpful in manufacturing of new drugs. The phytochemical analysis of the medicinal plant are also important and have commercial interest in both research institutes and pharmaceutical companies for the manufacturing of the new drugs for treatment of various diseases. So, recent studies and the present work showing that we hope that the important phytochemical properties identified by our studies in Begonia acuminata will be helpful in the coping different diseases. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Next participant, Ms. Harshita Mishra, Research Scholar, University of Allahabad, Prayagraj, UP.
Yes, ma'am.
Please share your PPT, Harshita.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my slide visible?
No, it's not visible. Yeah, it's now visible. Please, after telling your title, directly come to conclusion
Okay, sure,
and
sure,
tell
ma'am.
the findings of your research. What is
Okay,
the
sure, ma'am.
conclusion?
Sure, thank you. First of all, very good afternoon to all the dignitaries sitting out there. It's an immense pleasure for me to present on this first international conference on nature and natural sciences, theme New Vistas in Green Technology and Socioeconomic Sustainability, which is organized by Rani Durgavati Vishwavidyalaya, Jabalpur. Here, my oral presentation topic is differential response of heavy metal on physiology and biochemistry of Spirodella polyrhiza. And this is my abstract, which I've already submitted. And as you all know, that the aquatic ecosystem, the cadmium has shown a very high accumulation level and has no metabolic role in identified and has identified as a major environmental pollutant because of its high solubility and accessibility in the plants and other aquatic habitats as well as, and is regarded as one of the hazardous to plants and can easily enter the plant cells to the cell membrane via cadmium permeable channels or poor specificity calcium, zinc, and iron channel transporters. It then inhibits the plant development and alters the photosynthesis, respiration, transpiration, protein metabolism, and nutrient uptake. At the cellular level, if we talk about cadmium phytotoxicity, is strongly linked to the disruption of the cellular redox homeostasis and the overproduction of the ROS via the antioxidant system or disruption of the electron transport chain. I have chosen duckweed. Among that, the 5 duckweeds, I have chosen Spirodella polyrhiza as a metal accumulator. It's a free-floating macrophyte and widely used as a model organism in ecotoxicological assays to investigate the effectiveness of phytofiltration of heavy metals from the wastewater. And many of the results have shown that this plant has a good phytoremediator, especially in moderately polluted aquatic environment treated with the heavy metals like cadmium, copper, and zinc, chromium, and iron. My objective of study was to assess the potential of Spirodella polyrhiza in phytoremediation of cadmium contamination and to study the effect of cadmium on the biochemical content and physiological activities of the species. Now, this is the materials and methodology. I have collected the plant specimen from the Department of Botany, University of Allahabad only, from the freshwater pond, and I have followed the OECD guidelines to keep my plant in laboratory conditions. And I have analyzed the biochemical contents like total protein through Bradford method, carbohydrate content through Plummer 1919 through Enthron reagent method, and mineraldehyde content through Heath and Packer.
Harshita, your voice is not audible now. Can you hear me? I think Harshita is facing some technical problems. We'll call upon next candidate, Ms. Suravi Das, Research Scholar, GIET University, Gunupur.
Yes, ma'am.
Harshita? Yeah. Suravi Das, please
Yes, ma'am.
present your PPT.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Madam, please share your PPT. Suravi Das, madam, are you sharing your PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Please make it fast, madam.
Madam, it is visible.
No, ma'am, it's not visible. Okay, ma'am. In the meantime, we are calling next participant, Miss Priyanka Ojha, Research Scholar, University of Allahabad.
Yes, ma'am.
Priyanka, please share your PPT.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm audible.
Yeah, Harshita, now you're audible, but we have moved on to the next participant now.
So, ma'am, what should
Uh,
I do? Should I conclude?
We'll come back to you, Harshita.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, my PPT is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please
Okay.
directly conclude your presentation
Okay, ma'am.
in a nutshell.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Priyanka Ojha, and I'm going to present the topic biofertilizer, a sustainable alternative to chemical fertilizer for cytomorphological traits in Anethum graveolens. The first slide is objective of the experiment. Nowadays, application of fertilizer has increased the crop yield, but its higher concentration has offered detrimental effects. And the objective of the present experimental setup is to investigate the effect of fertilizer, ammonium nitrate, and biofertilizer agrozyme at the cytomorphological level. And we are familiar about Anethum graveolens. Anethum graveolens is a multi-purpose plant in the family Apiaceae that has been used in both medicine and fiber. This is the material and methodology of this experiment. And in this experiment, I have taken fertilizer, ammonium nitrate, and in case of biofertilizer, I have taken agrozyme. Then come to the result. First come to the morphological results. The seed germination and survival is a critical metric for determining the impact of mutagen in plants. In this experiment, the treated seeds showed a gradual decrement in germination and survival percentage in comparison to control. In case of chemical fertilizer, the germination and survival percentage showed the highest decrement in comparison to biofertilizer. In case of biofertilizer agrozyme, the germination percentage is highest concentration is 73.94, whereas in case of chemical fertilizer ammonium nitrate, the germination percentage is 69.38. The survival percentage was gradually decrement at higher dosage. And in this experiment, based on pigmentation of seedlings, different type of leaf variant was observed. First is control leaf, second is the albochlorina, third is aurea, fourth is anthocyanin rich leaf, and fifth is semi-xantha and semi-albina. Then come to the cytological result. In this table, we show the fertilizer agrozyme, biofertilizer, and ammonium nitrate chemical fertilizer. In this case, the tag percentage of 0.5 concentration is 3.29, which was gradually increases at highest concentration 2%, 6.37. And in case of chemical fertilizer, the 0.5 concentration tag percentage 4.13, which was gradually increases at 2% concentration, it was 8.54. This is the cytological plate, different chromosomal abnormalities caused by fertilizer and biofertilizer. In case of chemical fertilizer, the abnormality percentage is increased, and in case of biofertilizer, these are decreased in comparison to chemical fertilizer. The first slide is shows as normal metaphase first, second is shows as early anaphase first, C is showing as normal anaphase first, D is showing as scattering and metaphase, and E is showing as stickiness at anaphase. These abnormalities arise due to dysfunctioning of spindle fibers. The cytological study revealed that higher concentration of fertilizer are potential chromotoxic chemicals, whereas biofertilizers are mitopromoting. Hence, in this experiment, it is concluded that biofertilizers are more mito-accelerating, less chromotoxic, and ecologically safer than fertilizers. An attempt to drift the agricultural world towards organic fertilizer is the necessity for the maintenance of the sustainability and the sensitive ecological equilibrium of this experiment.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Next participant, Miss Ashira Bano Sangli, MES College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Bengaluru.
Yes, ma'am, I am present here.
Ma'am, please start your PPT. Share your PPT. Ma'am, kindly concentrate on conclusions directly.
Okay, ma'am. The topic of the presentation is women and environment. So women has played an important role, and she is contributing in sustainable development, caring for the nature and natural resources, protection of environment, and helping in reducing and reusing cycling of solid waste. And she has played an important role even in the household, looking after the family's health and hygiene, making the home passion with the garden and eco-friendly home and maintaining greenery and all. Utilization of electricity and water and other resources by conserving the energy, and even making the recycling of plastic, clothes and wood and all. So that is how she is helping in household. And we find women Paur Karmikas working in the Broad Bengaluru Mahanagara Palika and all. So these are Karmacharis who sweep the streets routinely and keep it clean. And they also sort out different types of solid waste into biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. And they are helping in recycling. And women workers are working in waste collection centers, and different types of waste are being transported to recycling centers by the women. And women entrepreneurs are present, so they prepare different types of materials from the old cloths, paper, leather materials and all, and are being converted into the useful metal. Then women are working in hospitals as housekeeping staffs and all. So they are maintaining the hygienic condition and creating a healthy environment for the people in the hospitals. And there are so many different women working in the food processing industry and beverage manufacturing
Ma'am, please
industry.
tell the conclusions of your study.
Okay, so like this, many women entrepreneurs and all are there, and film directors are there. They are doing a lot of documentaries. So some of the names are given here, Rebecca and all. Then we'll find social workers like Salu Marada Timmaka and all, and Wangari Matai. So these people are helping in as social environmentalist. And also you'll find Sunita Narayan, Meda Patkar, Indira Jaising. All these people are helping in having the environment and caring for the
Okay,
nature.
ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
मैडम क्या मैं कंटिन्यू कर सकती हूँ?
Ma'am, we will come back to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Next participant, Mr. Naren Kumar, research scholar, Chaudhry Charan Singh University, Meerut. Mr. Naren Kumar, are you there? Okay, now Ms. Kunjalata Lal, Associate Professor, Ranchi Women's College, Ranchi University, Ranchi, Jharkhand.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, please share your PPT and directly come to the conclusions.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Is my PPT visible, ma'am?
No, ma'am, it's not visible. Ma'am, please make it fast.
Ma'am, should I read it out? Because I'm not able to connect my PPT.
Okay, ma'am, just tell your title and what is the conclusion.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I am Kunjalata Lal. A very good afternoon to everyone. I am Kunjalata Lal and from Department of Education, Ranchi Women's College, Ranchi University, Ranchi, Jharkhand. My topic for today is diabetes mellitus and its remedies by Indian herbal medicine. Indian medicinal plants and its anti-diabetic properties. Medicinal plants and its properties continue to be an important therapeutic aid for alleviation and ailment of humankind. Herbs for diabetic treatment are not new. Hence, ancient times, plants and plant
Ma'am, please tell the conclusion, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, please tell the conclusion.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Madam Suravi
Yes,
Das,
my
please.
conclusion is diabetic mellitus is considered as one of the leading cause of death in the world. Diabetes is one of the chronic disorder which are associated with high mortality risk. Diabetes is mainly due to oxidative stress and an increase in reactive oxygen species that can have major effects. Many plant contains different natural antioxidants, especially tannins, flavonoids, C and E vitamins that have the ability to maintain beta cells performance and decrease glucose level in the blood. Natural
Okay, thank
products
you,
are
ma'am.
known to play. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next participant, Dr. Minakshi Nandalal, Assistant Professor, MD, University, Rohtak. Madam Minakshi Nandalal, are you there? Okay, next, Mrs. Vibha Shripal.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, please share your PPT.
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute.
And directly conclude your presentation, title and
Okay.
conclusion.
Okay, ma'am. Is my screen is visible? Hello? Is my
Yes, ma'am,
screen
it's
is
visible,
visible?
ma'am.
Yes.
Visible.
Very good afternoon to all of you. My aim is the women's roles in ecological restoration and sustainable development. I am Mrs. Vibha Shripal, Assistant Professor from Government MH College of Home Science and Science. Actually, women can be regarded as a manager in the family as they collect the resources directly from the nature. They play a vital role in achieving sustainable development in managing the Earth's biodiversity and its natural resources. Starting from the medieval period, the status of the women declined considerably, and in the modern time, women started fighting for their rights and equality. To encourage respect for women and the natural world, the term ecofeminism arises, which connect the women to the nature. So, taking these points into consideration, my objectives are to study the roles of tribes and women in forest and environment protection, to study about
Ma'am,
some
please
well-known
come to the
Indian.
conclusions,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay, 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 ma'am. Just a minute. Last, my conclusion is the various energy policies and programs that recognize women's work and the roles in energy sector can be effective in promoting access to sustainable energy solution. In every time women came forward to protect nature because they are dependent among nature. This innermost and harmonious association of women with nature considered them as a promoter for sustainable development. In spite of these, women also played an important role in various environmental movement of India. And these are my references.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ma'am. Next, Miss Priyanka Pandey.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am. Hello.
Yeah, please
Yes,
share
ma'am.
your PPT.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Is it visible?
No, ma'am, not visible. Please tell your title and conclusion of your study. If your PPT is not visible, ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
you
Ma'am,
can tell it like
yes,
that
ma'am.
only.
Okay, ma'am. The title of my presentation is Role of Gamma Radiation in Inducing Cytomorphological Variability in Lepidium sativum length. And what I have observed during my study that the survivability percentage has been decreased with the increasing dose of gamma radiation, and germination percentage on lower dose has been increased in comparison to control. And I have found frequency of morphological mutants that increases with increasing irradiation doses, as Zentha was found to be maximum at the highest dose, that is 600 GY, and total abnormality percentage was increased with the increasing dose of gamma radiation. And in this PPT, we can see that there is a stickiness at metaphase which was increased with the gamma doses radiation. So, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Dr. Rekha Rani, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Amarkantak. Are you there? Ma'am, उन्होंने request हैंड जोड़ी तो ठीक है. Dr. Rekha Rani, are you there? Okay. मैम वो 6 हाँ उनका मैसेज आ गया तो मैम ये Miss Suravi Das, Madam, are you there?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, please share your PPT or
Okay, ma'am.
yeah,
One
and
second,
directly
ma'am.
come to the conclusion.
Madam, is it visible?
No, ma'am, it's not visible. Please, you can tell your title and tell the conclusion of your study.
Madam, my topic is finger millet farming system in tribal communities of Koraput contributes to food security of Odisha. A case studies of Koraput. And my conclusion is overall the significantly higher yield with improved variety and improved agronomic practice portends greater availability of the nutrient dense crop for consumption in a context where area under finger millet cultivation has been declining. Given that a large part of India is under rain-fed farming and finger millet is primarily a crop that is grown in marginal and sub-marginal rain-fed lands, the scope to increase the area and production of this climate resilient and less water requiring nutritious cereal is immense. Appropriate knowledge on varieties ensuring to replace the low yielding and adapt genetically potential varieties for future agriculture culture of local varieties. Larger area covered, highest procurement, high adaptation of millet cultivation of Koraput, clear cut shows the result its significant contribution to food securities. Madam, this is my conclusion.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now today we have come to the end of first day of online oral presentations.
Ma'am, my presentation, I'm Dr. Neera Mehra.
Yes, ma'am. Neera Mehra. Okay, Dr. Neera Mehra, are you ready with your PPT, ma'am, now?
Yes, ma'am. Can you see my PPT?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. Ma'am, please come directly to the conclusion slide.
I'll take 5 minutes, ma'am. Please spare me the
Okay,
5
ma'am.
minutes. My title is Ubiquity of Microplastics and Implications for Human Health. Now, plastic particles which are less than 5 millimeter are considered as microplastics. Two types, primary microplastics, secondary microplastics. And they have been detected everywhere on the earth from tops of the mountains to floors of the oceans. And they have been human gets exposed to the microplastics through everyday consumables like drinking water, salt, etc. Everyday products like microfibers, personal care products, even from the abrasion of automobile tires. Now, there are three routes of exposure: inhalation, ingestion, and dermal contact. And estimated intake of inhalation is 39,000 to 52,000 particles per person. And the effects are that it has been found in rats that inhaled microplastics, they are absorbed by Peyer's patches and ultimately translocated to circulatory system and accumulate in the liver. Even the inhalation is hundreds of particles per day per person from the synthetic textiles, abrasion of materials. And these inhaled particles in vitro and in vivo studies have shown that they cause inflammation and cytotoxicity in the rats. Dermal contact is a less significant route, but from the dust, synthetic particles, and microbeads in cosmetics, we get exposed to the microplastics. Then toxicity effects are fourfold: particle effect due to the polymeric structures which are present in the plastics. And in addition to that, there are very highly harmful chemical additives which may be present. There are currently, it is known that 10,000 unique chemicals are used in plastic production, and about 100,000 are known health hazards. Then these additives actually include all these inert reinforcing fillers, plasticizers, antioxidants, and UV stabilizers, dyes, lubricants, and flame retardants. And all these these additives.
Ma'am, please come to the conclusions, ma'am.
Retardants are chemically bound to the plastics and therefore they can leach into surrounding mediums. Some of the these are the toxic additives in the plastics. which are known endocrine disruptors. They cause various kinds of diseases. It has been found in this. And besides this, there are adsorbed pollutants. Microplastics can absorb pollutants from the environments like pesticides, antibiotics, steroid hormones. They can also act as vectors of pathogenic microbes,
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
forming just okay. These
Ma'am,
are the
please tell the
microplastics which are
findings
detected in
of
the
your
humans.
work, ma'am.
And
Outcomes of your work.
these studies shows that microplastics have actually been detected, but only in last few years only. And the future challenge is to accurate assessment of microplastic contamination of human tissues, and to determine how much of microplastic load in body will be harmful, and to establish direct role of microplastic pollution as a possible cause of specific human pathologies. These are the references which I have used.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ma'am Harshita here. Ma'am, may I conclude my work? Just a minute.
Okay,
Just a minute.
Okay. Miss
The
Harshita Mishra, please conclude your work.
Yes, ma'am.
Myself, Meenakshi Nandal is also waiting for the presentation.
Ma'am, I called out your name twice, but you were not there, Meenakshi Nandal.
Ma'am,
Dr.
And now
Rekha
we
Rani
have
is here. Please, Dr. Rekha Rani is
मैम
also
फ्रॉम द
here.
मॉर्निंग आई एम वेटिंग.
Rekha
आपने
Rani.
मुझे 1 मिनट भी नहीं दिया कि मैं अपने प्रेजेंटेशन शुरू कर दूं. और अभी मैंने, क्योंकि पार्टिसिपेंट्स बहुत ज्यादा थे, तो आई वाज डूइंग समथिंग एल्स कि मेरी पूरी प्रेजेंटेशन हो जाएगी, उसके बाद अगेन आई विल बी इन द प्रेजेंटेशन.
Okay, ma'am, start your PPT.
Ma'am, let me conclude in a minute. Within a minute, I'll conclude. My topic was differential response of heavy metal on physiology and biochemistry of Spironella polyrhiza. In this study, I have concluded that due to the increasing cadmium concentration, the activities such as enzymatic activity, SOD, POD, CAT, and APX are increasing with the increasing concentration, and total protein content and carbohydrate contents are decreasing due to the increasing concentration, as well as the pigments are also decreasing due to the increasing concentration. Thus, the plant can be used as a phytoremediation in a low-level contaminated cadmium water body. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. जी. Miss Meenakshi Nandalal, Dr. Meenakshi Nandalal, please start your PPT, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to one and all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my presentation. My topic is production of biochar and its application for the sustainable agriculture approach. Now, looking into the today's scenario, the agriculture residue burning is causing a deleterious effect on our environment along with our soil. We are losing our health soil, we are losing the microbial activity of the soil. So for this very purpose, we need some kind of the technology which is cost effective also and which is beneficial also. So for this very purpose, nowadays biochar is an emerging technology to cope up with the problem of residue burning and all. Biochar, it is having n numbers of beneficiary effects, such as, because it is
Ma'am,
having
please tell the conclusions, and your PPT is not moving. Please, ma'am, please come to the conclusion slide, ma'am.
conclusion slide. So the conclusion of my study is this: ki the biochar is having very beneficial effect. So this is an emerging technology. So it should be used for the purpose of enhancing the soil fertility, for removal of the pollutants from the environment, and it is a very sustainable process also if we look into the technology. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Last participant of the day, Dr. Rekha Rani, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Amarkantak. Madam,
Thank you very
please
much,
share your
ma'am.
PPT.
Ma'am, please allow me to say thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this visible?
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it's visible. Ma'am, please, after the title, directly come to the conclusion slide.
Is this visible?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, you can, it is visible now. Ma'am, please directly come to the conclusions.
Okay, thank you very much, madam.
and myself Dr. Rekha Rani, and today my topic is alternation in water quality of river Narmada due to anthropogenic activities. And as you know well about the Narmada river, this is also called the Moksha Pradayini river and lifeline of the Madhya Pradesh and the Gujarat. And as you say me ki conclude, so this is the anthropogenic activities due to creating by the human industrial waste and not proper treatment, agriculture activities, domestic garbage, sewage effluents. Except this, there is a lots of huge creating the dams, roads, constructions, and although this is also affected the water quality of river Narmada, and these are the material methods. And we have selected 8 sites, and there is the 8 sites you can see in this chart or this and this is the sample collection method, and we have used all lab kits and the AFA standard method for the study. And this is the observation in which you can see the temperature, pH, TDS, and the conductivity. And here you can find the graph, and we have done a study from April 2021 to December 2022, and here you can find the clear cut fluctuation in the river Narmada water and the various parameter, pH, conductivity, TDS, temperature, alkalinity, etc. And here you can see that the result in this present find is
Ma'am, please come to the conclusion slide, ma'am. Ma'am, your voice is cutting.
Yes, ma'am, there is lots of network issue at Amarkantak due to the running. So the conclusion is this: this is not too worst, but it is alarming situation to the human being, and the surrounding blaze animals, agriculture areas are affected badly due to the fluctuation in the water quality parameter. So this is the alarming situation to the human being and the government too. Thank you very much to everyone.
Okay.
Thank
you so much, ma'am. Finally, we have came to the end of first day of online oral presentations. I am thankful to the jury members, Dr. G.K. Chandok madam and Dr. Ram Prakash sir for joining with us, and I'm also thankful to all the participants for joining. The link and the timing for tomorrow's session will be shared in the ICNS group. Thank you everyone for joining.
हेलो, आप सभी लीव हो जाइए, मीटिंग एंड हो चुकी है, इसलिए आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि लीव हो जाइएगा प्लीज़।